Hello, welcome to the Real Estate Unlimited podcast. My name is Carrie Steele.
Brian Shuby.
Bill Jones.
And we're the Jones Home Team.
And we got a special guest today, none other than Melissa Lidle, VP of Mortgage Lending at at REUP Mortgage out of Findlay then. So sorry, I almost screwed that up here already. But yeah, we'll let you talk a little bit more about what you got going on. And here, we won't put you on the spot right away here. We'll ease you into this then. But this is episode 63. Shub is covering 10 tips. He's guaranteed 10 tips for having the best holiday season ever. So
let's go.
If it doesn't work, you can blame him. Carrie's going to spitball on a couple things here then too. And I'm going into, I guess, one of my pet peeves. I love helping people out. We'll dive more into it later here then. But how far should an agent go helping somebody before there's some type of relationship put in place? And specifically agency or fiduciary duty. And then if we got time, we got some more scammers. Brian and I got a fun story from out of Findlay. So somebody trying to sell something that may or may not be there. So we'll just jump right into it. Who wants to kick us off here? Shub, you want to get right into our 10 tips?
Yeah, so 10 tips for having the best holiday season ever. So as we're rolling around through the holiday season here, just some tips and tricks to kind of help wiggle your way through there and try to make it a little more relaxing instead of, high pressure. So one of the first ones is under promise. Make a list of all holiday commitments, then prioritize. Aim to fulfill the top 75% and drop the least important 25%. So that way you're not, overdoing it. If you got 12 parties you need to go to, try to aim
I'm not that popular, Brian.
Right, yeah.
I'm not either, but you never know.
So you got to come out with like a list and prioritize this, like.
I mean, I guess if you have split families or divorced families, you might have like this grandma's and that grandma's and this ex and that in-laws. And
I just let Kelly do the list. I would like to see you, I guess, tell me where I need to be.
Just tell me where I need to be,
yes.
Write down your commitment and stick to it. If you add something, decide what to remove. So if you add something, remove something. Number 2, no is a complete sentence. So, if you get invited somewhere you don't want to go, you can say no and not need to go.
This.
So
right.
It seems like it's one of those that's really hard. I feel like I say yes a lot when I really want to say no, but
that's what I was gonna say. I think it literally is a skill to be able to say no to people. A lot of times it's so hard because you want to be there, you want to be present, but
you just come across as a B word if you no. Like, no, why? Like, are you busy? Is it me? Like, what?
Right.
Why?
I've tried to embrace that no is exactly what Brian said. That's a full sentence.
Yeah.
Because you want to be invited to do all of the things. But if it's not like a full, pardon my language, hell yes.
Yeah. Then it's a no.
I've learned to just go, no.
Yep.
There's only so much bandwidth.
You shouldn't need to explain yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to butcher this. I literally just, Simon Sinek in his book, Power Why, I can't remember which one it was, but literally talks about this then too. He goes, don't start with like, oh, I'd love to, that sounds fantastic, whatever, but
blah, 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 blah.
He's like, just say no, I would love to, thank you for the invitation, I can't, and then just leave it on from there. So yeah, you don't set them up with whatever and then crush it a little hard, I guess. So.
I can't. You cook food and your cat's tails in the stuffing.
Yeah.
I can't. No, follow it up. Don't follow it up. Yeah. Okay.
I've seen your kitchen.
Number 3, focus on what you need versus what you want. When feeling overwhelmed, give yourself permission to prioritize self-care. I think that kind of goes along with number 2. If you already got too much going on one day, again, feel free to say no. Just you don't put yourself in that situation where you're, overwhelmed or exhausted. Number 4, save time and energy with digital cards and online shopping. I know some people still like to go out Black Friday shopping and those sorts of things, but obviously online you get I would say a lot of deals and stuff too. Mm-hmm. So you might find a better deal online. You just don't get to experience the chaos.
The people watching.
All the thing.
I don't know. I think Black Friday's kind of changed so much that the hype is gone. Now it's just.
I still like it. I don't know. Yeah, I hate shopping and I still enjoy it.
I go out every year ever since it's kind of become not Black Friday, and I don't get that same sensation of Black Friday.
Nobody's beating themselves up anymore. Like there were fights and things.
Yeah,
it was all
they
Tickle Me
Elmo
and
Well, it just got to be ridiculous. I don't know if they still do it. Do you go out? Because it started being like Thursday night, like Thanksgiving night stuff would open up. So I can remember Kelly would go with her friend and they'd be gone all night. They'd literally leave after dinner Thursday and she would be gone till like 5 a.m. So That seems a little. That's to me.
No
it's taken
way.
away from.
Oh, no way. It's
they
amazing.
loved it though.
Yeah, we would get the flyers and open them up, and we'd be like, okay, we're gonna go to Best Buy at 8 p.m. and then we're gonna go to Walmart at 11 p.m. And I remember that one year, Bobby and I got a cheap hotel in Finley. We ate at Steak and Shake, got a cheap hotel, slept for like 2 hours, and got back up and went out after it. And that's what I miss. Was like that was a whole. Obviously, we're talking about that was a whole experience.
Right. What are the digital cards like?
I think they mean like digital gift cards. Like you go on Amazon and buy, send an Amazon card or whatever.
Okay, you can send me one.
Tackle big projects in pieces. Break down holiday tasks, decorating, cooking, hosting into smaller milestones. For repetitive work like wrapping and organizing, set aside small daily time blocks, like 30 minutes a day or something like that to get those things done. So
it's not all at once.
Yep.
It added to the overwhelming feeling you get.
That would go against my OCD, I think, sometimes. So
are you like, if you start it, you have to
yes.
finish it?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, no, if we're wrapping all the
presents.
Yes.
Yep.
If we're decorating
all the things.
Yeah, and then that's done. I can mark it off my list.
See, he'd do that crap at the office. So he'd be there till like midnight. I'm like, dude, just go home.
No,
like, just
gotta get it done.
No, I have to.
But then
it has to be done.
Then it's done.
Yep. Yeah.
I like
I'm
having
just one of
something
those
waiting
when
for
I
me
come
in the
in. I like to start fresh and have everything from the previous day done and be able to start fresh. So.
I just think it's like my dog waiting for me. Well, I got that offer to wait right in the morning. I'll just go do that. So.
Number 6, let go of expectations. High expectations can lead to disappointment. Practice gratitude for whatever happens rather than insisting things go exactly your way. So,
that's tough.
Life.
Yeah,
I just need to let go of my expectations.
I
won't walk around disappointed all weekend like I did.
I don't know. Is there a difference between guys and girls? Because I don't go into things with a preconceived like a fear or an expectation of what's going to happen or not happen. I just like whatever, life's going to happen.
Are you also the dad that's like, what did we get this year? Oh, look at that.
I mean, sometimes, I'm not as bad as my dad, but I'm probably going to get there. Yeah. But
number 7, don't be attached to the outcome. So try not to stress about how others will respond to your cards, gifts, or your presents. I think that kind of was just going into what you were kind of talking about. Focus on being present in the moment. This makes the season feel more meaningful and less like an obligation.
Get Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. I'm telling you that.
What did you just say?
Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. It is a card game.
Cat.
Under $10. Everybody can play. It is a hoot. The learning curve is just like that. It takes 1 or 2 rounds. Once you get it, it's just hilarious. It's like slapjack, right? So you're like flipping your cards and all of a sudden you see a jack and you smack it. And both Melissa and I, if we're playing it, I smack it, you smack it, whatever. My hand's under the bottom, I get the jack. Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, as shown here, you have to learn that taco, cat, goat, cheese. No, the one to the right. And it's just the card game. So you can slip it in your coat pocket. You can throw it on your dashboard. Yeah, $7.
No, Bill looks like he wants the one with the
plush
It looks like it's got the Labubu's that the kids are all to rave about.
You disperse all of the cards. Looks like they got a couple different versions. You disperse all of the cards throughout the entire group. So there's 4 of us playing. I disperse all of the cards.
Oh, my Lord.
Bill, you're taco. Melissa, you're cat. I'm goat. You're cheese. He's pizza. Taco, cat, goat, cheese, pizza. And it keeps going around.
Add to cart.
If I throw down taco and it's a taco, we all slap it. And then there's a couple wild cards in there that throw you off.
Yeah.
So
I'll check it out.
So it just gets really crazy then.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I will tell you, though, you want to remove your rings. And if the girls have fake nails, you might need some Band-Aids.
Right.
Because it gets wild.
That sounds
like,
bad.
You've played spoons. It gets pretty exciting. But yeah, make sure you're playing with a sturdy table and get all drinks and alcohol off the table.
I was going to say that's the next one. Keep your alcohol intake to a minimum. So
sweets at a minimum.
You won't be able to play that if you're
playing that. You probably don't want to drink.
Nope. You got to stay sober.
Number 9, invite others. Reach out to people who might be alone during the holidays. Invite them over, volunteer, spend time in your community settings. Giving to others can bring real joy and more meaning to your holidays.
Yeah, adopt one of those Christmas families. You can either adopt a family or you can go into a local establishment and they have names of people who, not names, I apologize. They'll have, it's anonymous.
Yeah, just like the need or like what they're.
Yeah, they'll, like maybe a nursing home has an angel tree and it says they need lotion and toothpaste or something.
Sure.
And you can pick those items up for them anonymously and then, a fake Santa dressed up will go around and distribute those on a certain day.
Which is a real eye opener. We do that every year with the kids and too had go do those angel trees and stuff like that. And I remember, I think it was both of them. They looked at some of those things. They're just like basic like necessity items.
Shoes,
and they're like,
socks,
don't they want something else? I'm like, no, because you guys are spoiled and already have the basic necessities plus all the other stuff. So yeah,
things that you take for granted.
Yeah,
definitely. If you get a chance, we have done over the last couple of years. a lot of volunteer work with the homeless shelter in Findlay, Ohio.
Sure.
A lot of food prep, food service, that sort of thing. And it sounds like, how could that be all that interesting? You're there for a couple of hours chopping up broccoli or whatever.
Right,
but,
right.
like last week, there was a gentleman who knocked on the door into the kitchen, and he's like, hey, could I get a couple energy drinks? I'm on my way to work. And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I grab him one of each flavor and I hand them to him. And it just almost made me tear up, because I was like, I don't know how he got in the situation
Sure.
he's in. But he's in a homeless shelter and he's working.
Aw.
And I think that there's this misconception that
Right.
people who are in that situation are just sitting there, feeding off the system. Probably some of them are.
Sure.
But there are people who are trying to build a better life for themselves. So I was like, here you go. Have a great day at work. Because I was just so
That's
impressed with
cool.
him, because in that situation, I probably would just crawl up and
Give up. Yeah.
Give up.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance to do that sort of thing, it really is, it's good for the soul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all
Especially
take
around
a
the
lot,
holidays.
Yeah, take a lot for granted. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So,
And we have to teach our kids, because if we don't teach our kids that
Yes.
it's normal
Yep.
to support and donate and dedicate your time, then it just becomes, oh, I didn't even know that shelter exists. I didn't even know there were people that were homeless in my town.
Right.
But if you take them and, do the sharing kitchen or the soup kitchen or the angel tree, then they see, oh, that's something that we do. That's normal.
And
you
if
know?
you're in a position to help, be it financially with gifts or with time.
Or with time, yes.
you need to do those things.
Yeah.
You need to do those things.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Cool.
And then I think just the last one, and it kind of goes with a couple of the others that we talked about, but give to yourself, carve out time for yourself, to watch a movie, take a bath, go for a walk, get a massage, whatever recharges you, and just try to, make the best with your family. So
Are you gonna take your own advice on that one, Brian?
Yeah,
don't
you
know
should take a
about
bath, dude.
Can you take a bath yet? Are we there yet?
not there yet.
Yeah.
Not there yet. You'll be there
I'm
soon.
really hoping Bill comes over and lays some flooring for me. That
Yes.
would really help recharge me.
We'll think about it here.
Remember, no is an answer.
Yeah, no, yeah, Brian. Yeah, we've been
good
practicing.
answer, good
We've been practicing
answer.
the word no here.
I don't know. I
lately,
think
so-
he's used up his nose.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Well, Melissa, if you got, I guess, tell us about when are mortgage rates coming down? Let's just start there. I need a date, a time, what the rates are going to be. Could you give us specifics, please?
So rates are running somewhere between like the low to mid sixes to even some into the low sevens. It's such a difficult question to answer. Rates are based on, what product are we using, down payment, the credit score, the debt to income ratio, where's the property sit? That plays
Sure.
into it. Rates here are different than they are in Colorado. So it's hard to just throw out a blanket rate and not feel like I'm lying through my teeth.
Sure.
That's honest, but that's kind of the range where they're at right now. Forecast is saying they'll come down a little bit next year. I'm gonna.
Well, they're supposed to come down this year. Everything we saw is
we've
like
been
this
doing
year.
that
for a
so
couple years,
we've been waiting for
right?
this year.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
For the
where's
last
this
3
year's
years,
rates?
we're like, oh, next year it's
Yeah.
going to be better.
It's like I tell my kids next month, next year, we'll get
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So when they do come down, they're not going to just drop. I mean, they're going to kind of go down a little bit, go up a little bit, go down a little. It's going to be kind of more of a cliff, up and down sort of thing. I know everybody wants rates to be back down in the threes. I'm going to get on a soapbox here for a second and say that they never should have stayed that low for as long
That
as
long.
they did,
Right.
period. I
Yeah.
think you've already heard me, Carrie, have my rant about this, but they just should have never stayed that long, that low for that long. What happened was COVID happened. Rates were already good. People who buy the mortgage-backed securities, it's an investment product, right? So just like a bond or a stock. So there are investors who buy these things up. And when COVID happened and people were losing their jobs or getting laid off and nobody knew what was going to happen with the economy, the guys who buy these things went, we don't want any of that. We're not sure what's going to happen.
Right.
The world's going to explode because of COVID. And so the government had to step in and say, we can't have this. Like, we can't have housing and banking and everything fall apart while we're dealing with this pandemic. So we'll buy all of it. We'll buy all of it. You guys keep doing your thing. Keep the housing market going. Keep the financial markets going. And so they artificially held those rates lower, okay, for way longer than they should have. And then they literally announced on like a Thursday, hey guys, we're not buying these things anymore, effective Monday. I can tell you where I was sitting when that announcement came out. I mean, you want to see a bunch of mortgage lenders breaking out in a sweat
Right.
really
Oh.
quick. And it was like, better get our stuff locked now.
Yeah.
So they were held artificially low. Then obviously they went up overnight. and people were in shock. My point being,
And we've been feeling that ever since, I feel
Yeah.
like almost.
ever since. It's affecting affordability. And what you're going to run into is when these rates do start to come down, that makes more buyers available.
Yep.
You know, maybe they're priced out of the market right now from an affordability standpoint. But if rates come down, we saw it a couple of years ago. For, you know, rates were low. People were paying $20,000, $30,000 over market value for properties. And that's not money the lender's going to give you. I mean, if you're paying more than the house is appraised at,
Yeah, you're coming
Yeah,
out
that's
of
on
pocket
you.
coming out
with
of your
that.
pocket, not my pocket, you
Yeah.
know? So if rates come down too fast, we are going to see that same thing over again. So then you're still in an affordability issue because
Now you've got
houses cost
multiple
more,
offers,
rates
yep.
are lower, houses cost more. And I always just say, like, you cannot outsmart the market.
Right.
It's just, are you able to buy now? Are you comfortable to buy now? If so, refinance it later on. But in the meantime, you've gained, 1 or 2 years worth of equity.
Right.
Right.
It's equity is basically free money in my mind,
Yeah.
you know, so you're missing an opportunity if you're not buying now while other people are sitting on the couch thinking they're going to outsmart the market later
Which
on.
is, and they've
Yeah.
been waiting for 4 years or 5
right.
years.
I'm like, how's that going for you?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because your landlord is loving it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
like you've put 4 more years worth of money into his pocket,
Yep.
4 more years of appreciation, and you still think you're smart.
All
But
while you're
okay.
waiting for a rate that's probably never going to
Never
happen again.
gonna
in your
happen
lifetime.
again.
Oh,
Yeah.
not in our lifetime. I mean, no. It
I don't
shouldn't
see
have
it.
stayed that low as long as it did. And
I'm not mad about it though. I locked in at that
Oh, dude,
interest
I'm,
rate. So
I'm,
I'm
Right.
like,
I'm locked
there's a
into
reason
it.
I
I'm
haven't
not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
haven't-
I'll die in this house.
Well, that's the other part of the problem then too, is the people that aren't moving because they have a
Yeah.
2, 3, 4% interest rate.
Yes.
Like, why
It's
would
like-
you go buy something at 6.5%
You
today?
can't because
Yeah.
it's love it or list it. And if you have to look at something that's half of what you have now,
Right.
and it's my job to sell a house, and I'll stand on a
Sure.
soapbox and say, like, you should buy if you need to buy. But at the same time, if you're locked in at that low rate,
Right.
it's impossible to justify.
Yeah. There are some like temporary buy down options that are helping those people who, you know, because a lot of folks bought houses at the lower interest rates thinking this is my starter house.
Right.
And then rates went up and they
Yep.
went, and now I'm stuck in this
Yep.
house that
Yep.
I've
Right,
now
right.
outgrown.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And they're on the fence. They don't want to buy something else because of the interest rate and the payment shock. But there are some temporary buy down options that can buy them a couple of years to get that reduced rate for an affordability factor, with the hope being then that if rates do decline in the meantime, they can refinance into something else.
What's your thought on the portable mortgage scenario?
Is that even, like, I know they're kicking that around,
know.
but is that even going to be a real?
I don't know how they could feasibly do that, because essentially it becomes, if you're taking that mortgage from house to house to house to house, that's essentially a note loan.
Like it's
against
almost like a line of
yourself.
credit to
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
almost
Yeah,
kind of
because
thing.
I don't know
That's-
how
yeah.
the banks are going to be able to go, well, that collateral is okay. That's
Right.
a lot of
Right.
spider webbing going on.
And that's I wonder that too about like assumable mortgage, because what your credit and all the things are is
Yeah.
different than mine, is different than his, is different than his. So how does that,
Yeah.
it's got to work in it would be the right scenario or the perfect storm that it
Sure.
would be assumable mortgage would work. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, how does that differ from the portable mortgage, and is assumable mortgage with these low interest rates? Is that possible for somebody to do that?
I love the portable idea. I don't know how it could be implemented well. And I wonder too what the upfront points are going to cost on
Sure.
that, because again, these are
Yeah, more risk
financial-
involved with
these
that,
are
so,
financial
yeah.
instruments.
Yeah.
You know, these investors, they want a certain rate of return, and if
Well,
they
why
know
do it?
now
Yeah. Why-
that rate is at 4% and it's going to be that way for the next 60 years. They're going to want some upfront money.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's not a real profitable venture for that particular investor. So I think that's where you could run in some problems in just trying to track everything. For assumable mortgages like VA and FHA can be assumed, very few are.
So it
Right,
has to be
right.
like situational. It
Yes.
had to be the right
Yeah.
buyer.
And you can only assume the balance that's left. I'm sorry, I'm like taking over.
No.
No,
here,
you're
but-
fine. This is good info.
This is you. You're our
This is
guest.
why you're here.
But
Yeah.
so an assumable mortgage. So say I buy a house for $200,000, finance $200,000, and I'm down to $100,000, and rates, are lousy. So I say, hey, you could assume my mortgage. You can't assume the $200,000. You can only assume the balance that I have left.
yeah.
So if I
So
buy
if
your
I
house
only
for
owe
300, I'm assuming 100, and then my
and then
interest
you gotta
rate is
figure out the
8 for
200
the other two.
Exactly. You
Makes
have to figure
sense.
out the difference on your own. So there's still a benefit there, but I think some people think, oh, I can finance that whole 300,000 at the rate that she has.
Right.
That's not how that works.
Good.
Just buying the balance
info.
and or the principal left, I guess, on there.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's and then my favorite latest topic for the last 2 episodes, the
Oh,
wonderful new 50-year mortgage here. Tell me all about how wonderful 50-year mortgages are.
I will say I have paid very little attention to that.
Yeah.
I dug into it for a couple of hours, and the payment difference is
It's like
not
$12.
worth it.
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
worth
we
it.
were mathing the math, and I'm like, this is just
the math does not math.
So
I
2
think
weeks
that's
ago,
a
I
big
was like
promise.
violently pissed about it, like just going
Yeah.
on. I'm like, why? But then I read some article. I'm like, okay, it's a vehicle. How many people actually pay a 30-year mortgage off? They refi, they do whatever.
They
you know.
move,
right?
yeah.
So they're going to move. They don't keep it that long. So the same thing with the 50-year. Like, so okay, you're not now increasing your interest $600,000. You're just using it for the next couple of years to where it makes sense. Even though the payment difference of 14 cents a month doesn't make sense to me. But
I'm waiting on the 100-year mortgage. That's
Right,
where Bobby
yeah,
and I
why
are going
not?
to.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, sign me up. Get
Yeah.
this payment as low as possible. No, I think the 50-year mortgage, keep in mind, that rate is not going to be the same as a 30-year mortgage.
right.
It's not.
Right,
You're
yeah,
going to pay
yeah.
a higher rate for
Yeah,
that longer,
like the
that long of a term.
84-month car
Yeah.
payment
So
versus
once
48.
right.
Yeah.
So once you count in that higher payment or that higher interest
Yeah.
rate, how much difference is there
Does it
really in
even
the
make
payment?
sense? Yeah.
You're done.
I thought of one kind of situation where it might make sense, and that's if somebody were to like relocate. Like, say you're based in Denver, you get brought into Tiffin, you know you're going to be here for 2 years to complete a job, and
Sure.
then you're heading back, and you still have your house in Colorado, and
Right.
you just want to make your stay here as cheap as
So
possible.
keep your monthly as low as possible.
Your housing
yeah,
cost
yeah.
as low as possible. Maybe that would work.
But at that point, shouldn't you just rent? That's what I tell people.
Yeah,
If you're
and
not
then
going to own the house for
wouldn't
that.
the closing costs would be substantial, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like they would be more
Yeah,
than
you're,
a 30.
You're going to be looking
maybe.
at points. You're going to be looking at I don't.
Sorry if I'm
I
screaming.
don't love it. Am I
No,
screaming?
you're good. No, you're good. You're
No,
totally
me.
good.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
I get
yeah,
excited.
yeah,
I get real passionate about things like interest rates. And
yeah. I wake up. I can't wait to talk about rates. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
he was up at 3:30 thinking about numbers.
Yeah,
so.
thinking about that. Yeah, I just could not find a scenario where it made sense. I said, like, those rare circumstances, maybe you could factor it in and make it make sense. But, and again, it doesn't work for all of us. We want people to buy and sell and refi as much as possible. But,
Yeah.
like, if someone's going to be at a home for a year, why the hell are you buying?
Why are
you
you
shouldn't be doing
buying?
that anyways.
My concern is you're going to find some predatory lenders who
Right,
are
right.
going
You
to
called that too.
Yeah. Hey, their debt to income ratio is too high to qualify right now.
Yeah.
Let's give them a house at a
by,
more
like
Sure.
by a
expensive
half
rate.
of a percent, their debt to income ratio is too high.
Yeah.
We'll throw them into a 50 year to get that payment just
Yep.
low enough
So
to
crazy.
get in that house by the skin of their teeth. And that scares me because I know plenty of lenders who will do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
will do that, and you're still just setting these folks up for if that hot water heater goes out,
Yeah, you're done.
they're
Yeah.
done.
Yep.
You're setting them up for disaster
more like a
just
u-
so you get the commission. In
Yeah, like
your
a used
pocket.
car salesman. It's like,
Yes.
I don't care about the price of the car. Well, what are you comfortable
Right.
with your payment wise? How much you want your
Yes.
payment to be? How much is a car? Like
Right.
that's going to be what with the house? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
what are you comfortable with the payment? No, I want to negotiate the price of the house, not the.
And they're overpricing the
payment.
car and giving them the higher interest
Yeah.
rate.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
so they're
dragging it out
paying-
until this thing is literally a rust bucket.
It's got
Right.
for the
180,000
landfill.
miles
Yeah.
on it. You're locked in at a
Yeah.
$489 a month payment
Yeah.
for 80 or however long.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Don't get me started on the kids who get a
Oh.
big boy job and
Yep.
go get a $1,200 truck payment.
Yes. We
Just
joke
about all of them.
we joke about that all the time. I'm sure you love this or can appreciate this. Someone's a week, a day away from closing, and they're at Lowe's shopping for their new appliances. Or I've told the story 100 times. A guy
Don't
that
do
showed up
it.
with the new Dodge Challenger or whatever,
Yes.
because he's so excited buying his house, torpedoed the whole deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Just absolutely screwed it.
That is the fastest way to screw up a deal is to open new credit or buy a truck. I have so many young kids that I'm like, that's great that you're making big boy money now, but you went and got a $1,200 truck payment. You
Ugh,
got to stay at
yeah,
mom and dad's
yeah.
house. You price
You
yourself
can't
right out of being able to
buy
buy the house.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
You're
was
gonna live in that
literally-
truck.
Yeah.
That was literally your house payment.
Yeah. All the time.
All right, so get out your crystal ball. What is
Okay.
you kind of did already? Next year, you're guaranteeing rates will go down. Next year. That's kind of what I heard. That's what I want to hear. I know that's not what you said, but that's what I'm hearing. So,
Yes.
but we keep hearing the same thing. We look at probably a lot of the same stuff you guys do, and it was like the end of this year. Everyone was waiting for
Yeah,
the
they
second
did.
half
It
of
was
this
the
year.
end of this year.
You know, we looked at all these predictions, and we're not. They barely have moved.
Now,
They've-
2026 is going to be the year
Right.
where we just can't even keep up with the business because things are going to be happening
Be
so fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the rate cuts, Fed cuts rates, which doesn't, again, everybody corresponds that incorrectly that interest rates on mortgages are going to drop then as well. They just hear rate drop or rate cut. But yeah, maybe some more of that coming up. So
Yes. Yeah, I think we're going to see a couple more Fed rate cuts, but again, like that does not directly influence mortgages.
Right.
That affects car loans and home equity loans, short-term credit card balances. I think our current president is really pushing. He understands that there is a affordability issue and that rates need to come down. Not that he has any direct influence. You know, he can't just cut mortgage rates, but it's top of mind, I think, as far as administration goes. So
Right.
I think we'll probably finish 2026. I'm guessing low sixes, maybe teetering into the high fives.
that's better than where we're at now.
Yeah,
though,
yeah,
so.
it's better than where we're at, and it gets some of these folks who have bought in the last couple of years. I mean, we've had loans close, 7.5%, 7.75%,
Right.
and they went into it knowing, like, listen, rates will come down at some point. I don't know when, but when it makes sense, we'll refinance. So that helps to get them into a bit more of an affordable situation. But again, these rates come down, and people who are sitting on the couch thinking they're going to outsmart the market,
Yeah.
then
Like
they're
you hit it
coming into
well.
the
You miss
market.
all that equity then built in too. You spent 2, 3, 4 years waiting, and you lost how much equity in that home?
Right.
Just waiting for a little bit of a bump in rate or decrease in rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm with you. I don't know what the future is going to look like. I think more rate cuts. I think they're going to can Jerome Powell next,
I think so, too.
in May
Yeah.
or whatever, put someone in there that's probably going to aggressively cut more rates, but to your earlier point, what does that do then? Your person, I'm going to wait for the rates to drop. I'm going to go buy my house. Well, then the 10 other people that have been
Right.
sitting on their
Yeah.
couch in mom's basement waiting to go do that
Right.
they're now also buying a house.
None of us
'cause-
are mad about that.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a problem that we love to have, but
Yeah.
you see people thinking they're outsmarting the market. And
Yeah.
what they're actually doing is putting themselves at a bigger disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yep. And us spoiled agents. Talk about spoiled kids. We hated it when there was 10 or 12 offers in every house. And now that there's only no offers on a house, we hate that now too.
That's why
so
we just need a 5.
Yeah.
We just need like a low 5, like a 5.25. That would get
would
everybody
that,
fired
is that the
up.
perfect number?
I think
you heard it
so.
here first, folks.
Yes.
5.25 is the
Carrie
perfect
is
interest rate.
predicting
Yes.
this
No, that would be amazing
Nirvana.
though.
That's what we
I'm
want.
gonna manifest 5.25 for everyone.
That's the
Yeah.
perfect number to hit. Then.
So which one is
Everybody
worse,
makes
no
money.
offers or 10 offers?
I would take 10 offers any day of the
Yeah.
week over no offers.
Yeah.
So I'm an old dog here. I've talked about that. I've been doing 20 years now, and I've lived through ups and downs. And it was when homes were on the market for 12 months, 18 months,
Yeah.
and nobody look at a house. Yeah, that was terrible. So
Yeah.
yeah, you definitely don't want to go that way. I'd much rather have. It is hard. It's very hard when you're buying and selling both. It's super frustrating on the buy side because you're writing 100 offers to get one accepted, and when you're the selling agent, well, I've got 48 offers I need to now navigate through in tonight. The kids are screaming, I'm missing
Yeah.
dinner because I got to go through all these offers. That's hard then too. And then the sellers don't know what to do. The buyers are frustrated. So
Can we just get 3 good offers? 5.25 and 3 good offers.
yes, and then we're good. We'll 5.25 is the number. All
That's
right.
all Carrie wants for Christmas.
A week, yes. I am going to put that out there. A week to 7 days on the market, 3 good offers.
Santa, are you
Partridge in a
listening?
pear tree.
Well, I'm sure we'll have more rates and stuff here to talk here. I'm going to jump into mine here just super quick then. So had a gentleman walk in. So you can appreciate this then too. How often do people want free advice? I mean, they're not coming asking for free advice, but they have questions.
Yeah.
So we had a gentleman, we talk about Bob the buyer and Sam the seller. We'll just call him Sam. Sam comes walking in the office last week. Hey, I've got some questions. Okay, great. Shoot, what's going on? Super long story short, inherited a house, wants to sell it, just has some general questions. Okay, great. I'm not doing anything else. I've got all these other offers and stuff I got to work through, this listing to put in. I'm just sitting here waiting for you, Sam, thanks for coming in. And he starts just all these questions. I'm trying to help like this. And he starts getting into more specifics. So what do I do with these inspections and this and that? Like, Sam, what are you talking about? I said, he's like, well, I'm just worried about getting through these. I said, you talking about like the appraisal or the inspection? Oh, no, the appraisal will be fine. The appraisal, I'm not worried about that at all. Typical like FISBO attitude. Then my home's
Yeah.
worth
My
$1
house
billion.
worth $500,000, yeah.
You know, he didn't say that, but that's the vibe I'm getting then too. Okay, we're not worried about the appraisal, but you should be, but whatever, I guess. No, these inspections, how do I get through these? And I just started digging a little deeper, and I'm like, well, do you already have are you guys already working through an offer? Oh, yeah, I got somebody interested in the house. I said, oh, okay, well, I said, are you working with an agent, or how are you working through this? No, I just threw it out there. I got somebody that's, I think going to buy it, but man, these inspections got me worried. He's asking a lot of questions. I need to work I'm like, well, do you have an offer put together? And no, we got it figured out, but we don't have it now. Like
Here's
I probably
a
need
consumer guide.
I probably need some help with that too. And I was like, all right, Sam, I said, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I got to be that guy right now. Like
Yeah.
we're, that's what we do is we help people navigate through a home purchase,
Right.
whether you're buying or selling, we give it, well, I'm not looking for advice.
Get out.
I said,
What are you
okay.
looking for?
I said, oh, okay. He goes, I just have some questions. I just have a couple questions I need answered. I said, oh, okay. I'm like, well, what are those? And again, he just keeps
Yeah.
on, well, if something comes up with these inspections, what do I do then? How do I get this fixed? And, who pays for that? I'm like, okay, again, Sam, I got to stop you here. Like we're, again, getting into the territory of what we do. You know what I mean? I didn't say this, but I'm going to talk about it here. I don't want to create an agency relationship with this guy. I have a fiduciary duty to this. Like, I'm a real estate agent. This is what we do as a business. If you want help, we'll help you start to finish. We can hold your hand from here all the way to the closing table, but that's what we do as a job, and we do charge for that. Well, I'm not looking to hire anybody. I get that. I understand you're not looking to hire somebody, but what you're asking is what we do. He's like, I don't. We kept talking about advice. I'm not asking for advice. I just have questions. Okay.
Same
like,
thing.
we have a failure to
Yeah.
communicate here, I guess, at this point then too. I said, Sam, let me put it this way. I said, if you walked into your attorney's office today and said, I just have some questions, you're going to be lucky if you even get to see your attorney. Second, he's not just going to answer your questions for free.
Yeah.
Same as a doctor. You're not just going to go stumbling in your doctor's office. I mean, unless you're missing an arm or something, they're not going to probably see you immediately and answer your questions for free. They're going to charge something. He's like, well, I don't know if we're looking to hire anybody. And I said, I completely get it. But I said, if you're going to do that, then maybe you need to go talk to your attorney or, do your research. But I said, I can't just give you advice. I'm now going to be legally obligated.
yeah.
I'm legally opening myself up. Well, I won't hold any of this against you. It just
Famous last words.
it kept going back and forth
right.
for like 5 minutes, and I'm just finally like, Sam, I said, I can only go so far with this conversation. I said, I'm trying to be helpful, but I can't, you're asking me to do my job without me doing my job.
Right.
And not be compensated for it then too. And he kind of got in a huff about it then too. I mean, he was mad at me by the time he left, which is never my intent. I don't want they know.
Right.
I never want anybody mad at me if I can avoid it, but was just completely bent out of shape. So that was a very recent scenario, which brought me up to this then too. So I don't know if you guys get that in the mortgage side so much, or I'm sure you get a lot of questions.
In your scenario, I'm assuming too that Len, he said he wouldn't hold it against you, but if something goes sideways with those inspections and you've kind of offered some free advice, can he legally come back on you then?
I mean,
I got the answer
and say,
here,
Hey,
yes.
Bill said, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
I was standing in
know?
that Remax office
Yep.
talking to that broker
Right.
who told
Yeah.
me X.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they need to understand that there's a liability
Right,
there.
right.
For sale by owners are my least favorite thing in the entire
Because you get to
world.
become a real estate agent basically at that point then too. Yeah.
And I get very firm with it,
Mm-hmm.
and because they'll be like, "Oh, we wrote up our own contract."
Here's our napkin.
Yeah,
with the-
yeah, right.
I found this
it's never
online.
done correctly,
Yeah.
And then they start asking me same thing, like about inspections. Or Billy Bob said I can't have the keys until Friday. I thought I was getting them on Tuesday. Or the hot water heater's this. What should I do? And I'm like, I'm the money.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I'm the money.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I cannot. I stay in my own lane.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a real estate agent. I know just enough about what you guys do to be dangerous.
Yep.
But not.
That's kind of the same
but
us with
not
mortgages.
enough where I
Right.
have
We
a
we
right.
advise
Right.
on rates a
So,
lot and
yeah.
stuff. No.
Yeah. Please don't do that.
No.
Please don't
I
do that.
advise you to call Melissa.
Yes, yes, right,
For your
yeah.
rate.
Yeah, like we're gonna stay in our own lane, and for sale by owner, same thing. They want the information for free.
Yep.
And my answer is, I have a pretty good idea what the answer is, but I need you to talk to a professional.
Right. Yeah.
Just
Which I get. I'm
don't-
cheap as all
yeah.
get out then too. I want to save as much money as I can everywhere I can. But
sure.
if I'm going to court, I'm not just gonna, go, oh, well, some attorney told me I should do this
Right,
and do
right,
it.
right,
That's You're gonna hire somebody that is gonna take care of you.
well, you want to be a good person, and you want to offer the advice that you can, but not to the point where you are opening yourself up then
Right.
to, did you create possibly an issue down
Sure.
the road for yourself or for them?
So I want to come up with some more scenarios if you guys want to think about that. I want to get into the specifics. We get this question all the time. People are just coming asking questions, whether you're a buyer or seller or whatever. And I want to explain the specific. It's not us just being like, hey, we're greedy real estate agents. I'm a greedy mortgage person. I want to make money off of you. It's the job we're doing. We're licensed to do it.
Literally our job.
Yeah, we're licensed by the state to do a lot of this stuff here then too. So for sale by owner and an unrepresented buyer looking for advice. So how much should an agent help before the agency kicks in? When does being helpful cross the line into performing real estate work without an agency agreement or compensation? How far should an agent go with free advice before they secure a client relationship and possibly, get into some liability? So the helpful agent versus the working for free agent. It's like, you guys ever feel like you're working for free? Like
Yes.
99% of our job, I feel like you're working for free, for the most part. So agents naturally want to be helpful. It builds trust, it builds rapport, and hopefully future business. And that's where we get screwed up all the time. Someone, I'm thinking about selling my house. Can you come on out? What do they ask? What's the first thing they ask?
How much?
my house worth?
Yeah.
What's my house worth?
What's it
What do
gonna
I need to do
listed
to
for?
this house?
Yep.
And it's before you've done anything for the most part then too. So they wanted to immediately, okay, Brian, you've been selling real estate for 10 years. You sold 1 million houses, 30 under 30, all your things, you know what I mean? Give me a ton of advice for free up front.
Yep.
So that's immediately what everybody wants. Sorry, I went on a rant there. So they want to be helpful, but again, you're basically, you get in the trap when somebody wants to pick your brain. So they're just picking your brain about your job then. So good areas to discuss, general information about the market. We get that all the time. You probably do too. How's the market? How's the real estate market? How's the interest rates? How's, that's just banter, I guess. So basic questions about financing, giving directions on, where to find resources or explaining how the process works, which I almost feel like that gets dangerous then too, because people kind of want to know the start to finish. Because then that naturally leads into, what contractor should I call? What a bank should I call? What appraiser should I talk to? You know what I mean? You're doing this a long time. Who should I call? Okay, well, now I'm now giving advice at this point here then too. So where does it become real work? Where's the agency kind of thing step into? So we're doing CMAs, which is a comparative market analysis and pricing, touring homes, discussing pricing strategy, writing offers. And then like you were talking here too, someone has a contract, advising on negotiating, pricing, how to structure the contract. Just negotiating contract terms. Well, how much should I ask for the place? What should I counter back at? What should I, should they fix it? Should I fix it? Should I pay for title insurance? Should they pay for title insurance? All just common stuff that's in our industry. But again, that's when someone has hired us to walk them through that. Then we're now, we have a fiduciary responsibility to that client. We have an agency relationship with that person. So that's our job, is to put their interests first. So, and then now we can advise them. We're now, for lack of a better word, legally on the hook for that advice then too. We can be held liable for that. Sorry, I'm on a rant.
Go
anytime. Yep.
I think that a lot of times when people do for sale by owners, there's this misconception that real estate agents make too much money, quote, for what they do.
Right.
Like, they showed me a couple of houses.
Yeah, you
and
turn
then
the
we wrote
lock.
a contract, and that was it. And I try to tell people, I'm like, that could not be further from the truth. You're paying for their knowledge,
right?
Their knowledge of the market, their knowledge of how to negotiate things in your favor. Like the price point, like there's so much more than you're just unlocking the door. And I think people think, oh, well, he only, spent 2 hours with me. Why is he making this much money? You're paying for the knowledge,
right?
You're paying for the knowledge and the
And
skill
a month
set.
and a half later,
you're not paying for the time.
Yeah.
Just like if I have somebody come build my house, like you're building a house right now, maybe you feel like you're overpaying. I don't know. I don't want to throw your builder under the bus, but you're paying for their knowledge because you don't know how to do it. And they should be compensated for their knowledge, just like doctors and lawyers. And you're not paying for their time; you're paying for their skill set.
And if it were time, we'd be a lot richer.
Dude, if we charge by the hour,
right?
Can you
Same
imagine?
with the mortgage industry. Yeah,
of course, call me at 10
I love it.
at night on a
Exactly.
Sunday. I love
That's
that.
time and a half, double
I got-
time,
right.
holiday
No
pay. I
problem.
just wrote it when I was Saturday. I was like literally sitting down to dinner for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm
this
on the
we had
phone
on
with Karen. I'm like,
Saturday.
hey, you got to write an offer.
And I'm like, I'm in Amish country. I don't have Wi-Fi. Like, there's literally a horse and buggy going right past me.
Right.
I will do my best,
But you figure it out.
And so then we're on these like roads, and I'm like trying to send stuff. Oh my God.
Well, I think people, to your kind of point, they watch Selling Sunset on TV, and they showed the house in their high heels, and they made a $600,000 commission. And it's like, oh, well, that's the TV first.
In 30
that's not,
minutes.
yeah, that's not
In
real
30
life.
minutes.
That's
30-minute episode, yes.
Yeah, that's
Right.
not all the tons of relationships you build and all the knowledge you put into it. And it's the same
Yeah.
with you guys. You can go, I'm not going to name names, but like online, whatever, and somebody's going to give you a pre-approval letter. But what kind of service are you going to get? What kind of knowledge are you going to get? Like, where they can just pick up the phone and call you directly and help use your knowledge and your expertise and kind of walk them through that, not just some online portal where
Right,
the
but-
chatbot's going to come up and
where you're not working with, a lot of times these online lenders, which everybody has their place, but they're in a room with 100 other people, or they're
Yeah.
working
Right.
from home, and they have entry level experience.
right, right.
So they don't know how to structure
You get the guy
a
that started
deal.
yesterday.
They don't,
Yeah,
they're not
yeah.
issuing pre-approvals. They're issuing pre-qualifications.
Right,
Like
right.
the computer said, cool, so here's your letter.
And they're not
They're
going to
not
answer their
worth the
phone at 10
paper
o'clock
that
at
they're
night
written
on a
on.
Monday or whatever.
If they even still work there on Monday.
Right.
Because they get
Oh,
burned
right,
out from
right,
working,
yeah.
working
Making
in a call
7,000
center.
phone calls a day.
Yeah,
And
so they're like, I'm dipping out of this, and then you get moved over to somebody else with another 1-800 number. So
All right, yeah, but then we jump in here at
Yeah,
any
yeah.
point. I'll try to rip through here this end too. So where agency and liability begins. So once you give advice that affects someone's financial decision, you're likely creating an implied agency relationship. So this is where it gets into this guy. He was acting like I had a piece of paper. I'm like, sign on the dotted line here, Sam. Like, let's get going. I wasn't asking for any of that. I was just trying to explain, I didn't get into the specifics. Like, we're creating an implied agency here, Sam. I didn't get into that, but this is what it is. So which means that there's legal duties attached to that. You can be held responsible, and you're working for no compensation. So Ohio recognizes implied agency through actions, not just paperwork. So your actions could create, inadvertently an implied agency relationship with that person. So here's what I tried to do here. I set clear boundaries. I said, here, Sam, we're going to set some boundaries. Yeah, let's keep it simple and clean. So I can give you general info, but if you want detailed pricing or strategy, we need a representation so I can legally and properly advise you. I wish I would have had that ready to throw right
no
at
is
him.
a full sentence.
Yeah, just no. Sam, get the hell out of here. I'm not giving you free advice. So it already went to the attorney-doctor comparison. So, ask a lawyer general questions, but they can't give you legal strategy without you hiring them. Real estate works the same way. So to us agents out there, I guess, as far as what to do, so give value, but do not give away full representation for free. Agency protects the client and protects you both. So that makes it, I guess, hard to, you get into the more specifics. So a couple of quick scenarios. Implied agency. A home buyer may assume that the agent is working on their behalf. And we talked about this earlier then too. Well, so-and-so told me down at the office there. And so you're giving free advice about the property, and the buyer hasn't signed any kind of formal agreement. On the seller side, seller may believe that an agent is acting in their best interest if the agent helps them with the paperwork or answers questions, even if the agent has not been formally hired. Mm-hmm. So kind of same thing with a for sale by owner. If they're doing that stuff, they have we're representing the buyer. Because you guys have all done that then too. So what do you do with a for sale by owner? You got a buyer wants to buy the house. You end up doing everything. You do everything. Any side of it kind of runs into that then too. So there's some more here then too. But navigating friends and family, that's another tough one.
That's the one that gets me.
So,
because they're the first ones that want us to work for free. And especially like those friends, yes, but like good, close acquaintances. Those are the ones that'll be the fastest.
Yes.
Those good, close acquaintances where, you could have dinner with them. They may not be like at Thanksgiving, but they show up in all, it's your close sphere,
right.
And they're the ones
and they will run you ragged.
They just pick, boom, bought with somebody else. It's like, are you kidding me?
I have twice had this happen with people that invited me to lunch, and literally that's what the lunch was about. It was them they're trying to do a deal and just wanted to just hammer me on questions. Like, so basically, I'm going to help them with this real estate transaction for the price of a Chipotle bowl. You start going so far down here. It's like,
and then we talk about that all the time. They think you're even. We're even now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I bought you Chipotle, and
I gave you,
you helped sell my house, and it's just like, no, we're not even
I
close
gave you a gift
to
card.
even.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't buy with you, Bill. I'm sorry I ran you around for 2 years.
Yes,
Here's a
and do that.
$50 Visa card.
And that's
thank you for helping
job
us.
we all take on. And I've gotten several of those.
Yes,
too. Someone sends me a $50 like,
Yeah.
oh, thanks for spending 1 million hours on this thing, but we didn't end up using you. But that they usually just they get re-gifted. I don't even use them, even if I don't even take them. Then so talking family member. If one family member is buying out another, this is another instance I'm running into right now. One family member is buying out another family member's estate, or they're sharing that estate. So they're just looking for estimates, and they want, I mean, we're dealing with the one gentleman that came in wanting to sell to his son, you know, something. Like, you kind of run into a buzzsaw with that stuff, because then the family calls mad about, you just get stuck in these quagmires of situations to where I don't know what the best solution is. So
No, because you want to keep those relationships at
Yeah.
least civil. That way you can have a future relationship should them or their family members want to use you to list the $250,000 ranch down the
Right.
street, you know?
Yep.
So you have to like walk that line between a little bit of
Yep.
help, not advice, just a little bit of help.
Sure.
And then, okay, call me for the next whatever.
Because that's how I guess we help earn our job a lot of times. I don't know, what's the
Right.
mortgage world look like then too? I mean, you want to help, you want to provide value.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to be there for people, but at the end of the day, how many hours can you spend
Yes.
with somebody before you're like, okay, dude, like you're
Right.
kind of pushing the limit here. So I don't know if Sam's coming back. Sam, it's not your name, I know, but like hopefully you come back in. You know, so I
Yeah.
wish you the best of luck, but like we just can't do the job. You know, again, the attorney thing. The attorney's not going to go represent you in court and get you out of.
Yeah, it's not just about money. It's
Right.
also about that liability. So
Yes.
that's an easy way to hang your hat to say no, because it is a legal liability. So I'd love to help you. You know, here, sign this. We can get more into it, but you know, that's as far as I can go legally.
Well, and I know you guys like love to talk about real estate all day long, right? Like,
Yes,
no,
it's-
you do. You're like, it's my
It's
favorite thing
easy.
to
It's
talk
passion-
about.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like something that you feel strongly about. But yeah, with that, there's some legality there
Yes.
too.
Yep.
And,
For sure.
You know, yeah. Same with us. I'm like, I could talk about numbers and nerdy
Yeah.
mortgage stuff all day long. Like
Yeah.
that's my jam. But I can only take it so far talking, you know, because they'll be like, well, what are rates as far as, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
need credit. I
need
need
to
an
pull everything.
application. You're asking me to look at a crystal ball
Yep.
and decipher how much of what you're telling me is a lie and how much is
Right.
the truth.
Yes.
Right.
Did
know
you
what
or
I
did you
mean?
not purchase the $1,200 a month truck payment?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Like, do you want to talk about general stuff or do you want to know specifically for you? And I feel like that's where you guys get into too. You know, you can't talk about generalities, like,
Right.
And to get deep into that transaction.
Because it always leads into the specifics. Like you want to talk about the
That's what you
general.
have- yes.
1,000%
Yeah.
goes into the specific. Well, then who
1,000
should I call? Who do you recommend? Who, you know, how do I get that fixed? How do you know?
I recommend you sign this.
Sign this.
agreement.
Yeah, what should I
Yes.
do with that? Who should pay for this? Like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. So, okay.
That's
Yeah.
literally my job.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
literally my
that's
job.
literally my
And-
job.
And you said it well, Melissa, that's what you pay us for is our knowledge and experience.
Right.
So it's the same as you.
Yeah.
So express agency versus implied agency. So express agency is what we were just talking about. It would be a written buyer agency agreement, a signed listing, a contract, or any kind of signed formal representation or documentation. That's what scares Sam away and people like that. Like, whoa, I don't want to hire you. I'm not looking to pay anything. I just want
No, but
I just want
meanwhile they're
free advice.
awake, kicking themselves, going, "Oh, I wonder who I should call. I wonder if I." And they Google it and they get 12 answers, and none of them are the right answers.
Right.
And it's like
And we could go down a whole nother
rabbit
2 hour
hole, yeah.
episode of this then too is like then where does your value come in? I more often than not save people way more than what I cost them in a
Yes.
deal, whether it be in a
Yes.
negotiation, whether it be in the fixing, the pricing,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be. Finding a contractor that's not going to charge them, you know, outrageous rates.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll leave that for when you come back. We'll talk about that one here. How about that? So,
Yeah.
and then you get into this implied agency. So, given specific, so this is where we're talking, but now it's not an express written agency; it's an implied agency, giving specific pricing advice, running CMAs, showing homes, advising on offers, negotiating on someone's behalf. So, any of those little details. So. Sorry, rant over. I'll get off my soapbox, but that's been fresh to me here lately. I've had all kind of these to where people are coming in looking for, you know, whether it be a phone call or the lunch that I thought was just, hey, buddy's catching up. Now you're, I guess, I won't say who they are. I'm going to call them for their advice. I'm going to invite them for lunch and get a bunch of advice and now to them. Maybe I should just return the favor.
Bob the buyer.
Real quick, I'm going to talk about Shuby's story here then too. I guess it was my story that turned into Shuby's story here. So we had a guy that called one to sell some land. We didn't talk about this, did we? Last time I think we kind of hinted about it.
I
About
think we just hinted
film.
about
Okay,
it.
yeah. So this comes into your guys' territory then too, maybe. If we're talking scams, you know, whether it be people trying to steal earnest money or titles or whatever. So we've had this multiple times now. Somebody calls, usually sounds like somebody foreign. Again, nothing against that, but it's usually just somebody you can tell that's not necessarily Bob down. It's not Sam that just walked in the office. And they have this property they want to sell. So I've got this land. It's in Findlay, real nice neighborhood. I bought this lot a year ago. I just need to get it sold. What do you think the price is? well, I probably want to go look at it. Can you go look at it right now? Oh, again, yeah, I'm not doing
Right
anything.
now.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here hoping somebody calls.
yeah, I'm on my way
Yeah.
there. And we get the same thing, people buying. I want to look at this house. Great, where are you at? I'm in the driveway.
Yeah,
I'm around
yep.
the corner. Perfect, I'll be there.
Yeah.
So we go, we can get out there. I don't remember what the guy's name was. We can get there quick. If it's prior to get it on the market fast, we can move quickly and get it on the market fast. You just need to know some more details. So then Brian calls a guy, and I'll let you kind of take it over here. What's it?
Yeah,
Just remember the details.
Called a little bit. I called a guy. Just quickly was trying to get some information from him, and obviously the auditor's website has a lot of information of the current homeowner. In the last 2 or 3 now that I've had here, has been.
You're talking the scam ones, 2 or 3 ones,
yes,
yeah.
they've been out of state. So the sellers have been out of state on those properties. So I was just talking to him, and we were texting back and forth, and I said, hey, I need your guys' contact information, you and your wife, so I can send these documents over to you. We kind of talked pricing and stuff like that. And usually with the pricing, it's always that's good enough. They're not trying to push back on the pricing. And they're like,
Which
yep,
one
that's
does the
good
seller
enough.
ever do that?
Yeah,
Not very often.
Right.
That's good enough. I just want to get out from under it. Going to go buy something else, whatever. So then I start digging a little bit farther, and I'm like, hey, do you have your wife's phone number, just so that way I have it for my file? And his response to me was, mine is just fine, or something like that. It was something really weird. And so I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. And so obviously we have Forewarn then as well, the app where we can kind of look people up and stuff like that. And so I put the phone number in that he was calling from, and I wasn't getting nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It was in India or somewhere.
And so I put the actual owner's name in Forewarn and was able to find him, and all of the numbers that came up under him was not anything close to what that number was. So on this particular one, I'm just gonna call this actual owner, see if I can get a hold of him. And so I had actually called him, and he's like, you're actually the second person that's called me in the last week telling me someone's trying to sell my lot. He's like, my wife and I are going to build there in a year or so. He's like, so we're definitely not trying to, list it. So I'm like, no problem. I just wanted to make you aware, like someone's trying to, sell your property. So I sent him the phone number for the guy. I wound up calling the scammer guy back, and I'm like, hey, I don't remember what his name was. And I'm like, hey, I actually was able to get a hold of the real owner of this lot, who said he's going to be building on that and then instantly hung up. And so,
boom.
Me being me, I would call. He wouldn't answer.
I
just keep power dialing him.
Oh my gosh.
And so I wound up
funny.
texting Bill, because we were in a group chat, and I'm just like, this dude's a scammer or something like that. And
In the group text with this guy.
yeah, in the group
With this
text
guy.
with the
He's
guy.
like, Bill,
That's
don't
hilarious.
worry about this guy. It's a scam. I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't remember what I was doing. I'm like,
You
what
were
is going
doing
on?
something because
Yeah.
you didn't answer.
I was coming from Bowling Green.
Yeah,
That's
and,
hilarious.
and so I'm just like, and you just one of those, if a situation seems too good to be true, usually is, because you weren't here the last time. We had a situation where it was, I think, like 90 acres up.
Yeah, it's like 100 acres of ground.
Yeah, up near Monroeville, and he just wanted some numbers and stuff. And again, it was a foreign individual, and so I started doing a little bit of digging, and it was email back and forth. And I said, hey, we've never met before. Are you able to provide me like a tax bill or a driver's license or something just to prove who you are? And so he sends me an AI generated driver's license that's not at all correct. Like, the address is correct, but the birth date's not correct. Like, none of the other information is correct.
Right.
It looks so fake. And it's just like,
And a lot of those scams, like within the first couple of like back and forth transactions, like communications, like you'll ask them something and they won't respond, and you'll be like, no, but I need to know, are you pre-approved? Do you have a house to sell? What?
Yeah.
And then boom, they're gone.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, if you can't answer my preliminary questions, I can't work with you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
the last one, because usually you can tell because there's spelling errors, or it just seems the typing is weird.
I can't spell.
Well, I'm saying
No, I
it
know,
looks
I know,
really
I know.
weird.
Yeah.
The last individual that Bill had sent me, he was actually like texting back and forth with us,
Right.
like giving us emails that actually pertain to
Look
the
legit,
names
yeah.
and everything. So it was just definitely a little weird.
You just have to like slow down and just
Yeah,
check.
start asking questions.
Yeah.
I usually always
and
go to.
That's why. Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
always usually go to, like, do they have could you send me a recent tax bill
Yeah.
or something like that? And then they usually are gone. So.
We just had one where I don't remember how I got the lead, but I had this lead and I reached out to you, and the questions I asked you, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe you asked those questions. And I'm like, yeah, but I do that because, I've been doing this long enough that I don't want to spend my whole Saturday running around an hour from here on somebody that can't buy a house. And then as it turned out, they have like years and years worth of unpaid and when they like repossess.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
they can't buy anything anytime soon.
Right.
And I'm not going to announce the source, but that was a lead that came through, a legit lead source, actually, now that I think of it.
Oh, probably.
Because you and I
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about
Yep.
where that came through.
Which
at.
again, more power to those people. Dream big. Yeah, go. You want to buy a house. I totally understand that, but you're not going to waste everyone sitting here's time for
But
us
if
to
I'm
go.
paying a lead referral,
Yeah.
like, gosh, vet
Yeah,
the people.
right.
Like, come on.
So
Because
what's
that's
the
your
goal-
time, too.
Sorry. What's the goal with these scammers? Like, are they hoping somebody will just maybe
We're
like
trying to figure that
earnest
out.
Yeah, we're
money?
still
Yeah,
trying to
right.
figure it out
Something.
because we're
Because
thinking
the sale's not going to go through,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah, we're thinking that they're trying to be able to hold the earnest money and then just be gone,
Deposit, yeah.
or because I was just doing some Googling and there was a couple of people on Reddit that actually had similar situations, and the one individual said that what they did was the title company, obviously you can fake a driver's license or whatever, they're always not in state, so they always use their own notary. Well, their own notary signs the document, sends it back to the title company, and it winds up transferring, and they wind up getting their money. Because that was our conversation last time, was
what's the end game?
Yeah,
what's
what's
how does that, because at that point the paperwork's already been filed at the courthouse. Like, who do you have? How does that seller never
Because
actually
in that instance, the money
sold
actually
their-
transferred, right?
Yeah,
like
the money
the title
actually
company
transferred,
received
so
a notarized whatever, and
how do
like
you
the
go
sale
to
went
that-
through.
How do you go to that buyer and say, that wasn't me? Like, and
Yeah.
they're 2 months in on building a house or something on that lot, and it's just
On
like,
a
what
lot
do you
that's not
do?
theirs.
It's not
Yeah.
theirs, yeah.
Yeah, why is this person building a house on my lot then? Because we get I'll ask
Can
you
you
this,
imagine
Melissa.
pulling up and you're like,
Right.
Because
Like,
it's
you're
one of
gonna
those-
go-
going on here.
contractor the go ahead. Yeah,
They're
why is
using,
your house?
Yeah.
a lot of times the sellers
break
in those
ground.
instances, like we talked about, are out of town, so they're not going to be
Yeah.
regularly checking in on that ground or
Right.
watching
Right.
the ground, so they don't know what's going on with it.
I would be the worst thief. Like, my brain just isn't.
Doesn't work.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
it
saying. We don't
doesn't
work that way either.
understand
We're trying
what
to
the
figure it
end
out.
game is.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So, but do you guys get this? 'Cause we get people a lot of times different lead sources, and they want to talk through WhatsApp. We
Yeah,
get that.
I
Like our
just-
weird community. I'm email only. I'm super busy and important. I'm a mega millionaire. I would prefer email only. Okay, fine, whatever.
Yes.
But then it just gets fishier and
And they
fishier.
can't
so.
answer your question. That's
Yeah.
the part. Like,
Yeah, I'm
all
a
of
billionaire.
those-
How dare you ask me these questions?
I'm the assistant for a billionaire, and they're interested in a my budget's 2.4 million, and I'm looking in Bascom, Ohio.
Yes, yeah, like that. You want the whole town, or what do you want?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Or even Sandusky would be like, okay, that makes sense on the lake, but it's never like,
It never makes sense.
it never makes sense. No,
Yeah.
their want list for the area. I'm like, well, first off, if you're a billionaire, like you have enough knowledge to know that you can't find a
That you
house in
can't.
Bascom for that.
Yeah.
A farm,
And
maybe.
your secretary should know how to spell.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Facts.
That's what we had the guy too recently. Then too looking for ground. I want to spend $2.4 million something on the water. Okay,
Yeah.
Where? I don't know
Where?
who this person is, and it was like 10 emails. I could probably pull it up.
Yeah.
Where do you want to look? Oh, just somewhere where there's water, somewhere nice.
Yeah.
Okay, bro, are you looking in Ohio? Are you looking in Florida? Are you looking in California?
Yeah.
Like I don't. And he was just non-specific email
Very
after
vague.
email, and I'm like, what? And then
Are
he
we
just quit
talking
responding.
river, lake, ocean? Like,
I have
what,
no
what
idea.
are we talking?
Yeah,
here?
just a beautiful house,
Yeah.
something used for a second home, and then only want to talk in email because he's too rich and important. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
As soon as they do the whole rich and important thing, I dip out because
Yeah.
I'm like, this
We've
is
seen
fake.
Catfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen
Right,
the show.
right.
I dated that guy.
I can't
so.
get you.
Yeah, right.
I
No,
can't
I'm
get
not
you
doing it
on FaceTime. I can't get you on the phone. I can't get you texting. I can
Right.
only get you through this. And that's like the whole WhatsApp. Like they'll email like 10 times, and you're like, obviously we're communicating just fine. Why can't
Sure.
we keep using this form?
Yep.
Boom, they're gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not going over to another app. Like
No.
I'm just
No.
But so kudos to Brian then too. How many agents would have done that due diligence? Because I bet 70% of agents would have been assigned in that yard by the end of the day or end of that
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, that's
probably.
what the seller, when I had talked to him, he was actually very nice, and we kind of had a nice conversation. He's like, if I didn't have anything better to do, I would actually have you go ahead and just list it, just because he's like, I'm interested to know what he's
to see where this goes.
trying
Yeah.
Oh,
to do.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't know. So the scam, I know the one scam that was going around for a while was an earnest money thing. That was people looking to buy a home, and they would literally go look, hey, Carrie, go show me a home. Oh, I love this house. Let's write an offer. And they'd write a earnest money check for $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, send it to the broker. Okay, we put it in our account, and then immediately do the inspections. Oh, never mind. We want out of this deal. Give me my money back. Everybody signs off.
Yeah.
Contract's
No
dead.
good.
I write them a check for $10,000 out of our earnest account to give them their money back, and their original check was bad.
Yep.
So that's why most brokerages put a hold on all. I want to make sure the money's there, and then the banks a lot of times won't actually tell you when the money's truly there. But so yeah, that was a big one for a while. I don't think anyone around here got burnt, but I know a couple brokerages did for a while. But then the wire money, like if you're wiring it to a title company, those emails get intercepted between. I'm sure you guys have a lot of security features and stuff like that as far as like where routing numbers and things. I know the title companies have put a lot of stops in place for that then too, to make sure that an email isn't getting intercepted and say, oh, never mind, don't send it to this account. We have to send it to that account. And then
Yeah. I refuse to email wire instructions
Right.
to buyers. I tell them to call the title agency.
Yeah.
Because I don't want that. And I know a couple title agencies will email them out.
Sure.
To them, but that's fine as long as it's coming from their email.
Yeah, I don't want to be
not mine.
responsible for
I
that.
don't want to be responsible if some cyber guy somewhere intercepts that thing and takes
Call,
money.
stop in.
Yeah.
We'll print it off on
Right.
old
Yep.
school paper and hand it to you.
Yes,
Yeah.
But it's not coming from my email.
Yeah, someone
I don't-
wires a couple $100,000 and it's just gone.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't
what do
like
you
to
do?
send
Yeah.
those bank payoff authorizations. I don't like to send those either.
No.
Electronically. I'm like, nope. Stop in. If you don't want to do it electronically, stop in. Get this paper. Take it to the title company. Take it to your bank, and then physically drop it off. Like, there's not a lot of things that you're going to have to do in this whole transaction. This is when it's going to be worth your time to physically go and get it and move it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Sam. There's some more advice for you. So if you want to
Yes,
know what to do at
Sam.
closing, clip that, and you know what to do at the very end then to get the money situated.
Anyway.
then, I
You need to
guess.
have
So-
Sam on here next.
Yes, I don't think he's gonna come back. I don't know. He might
Message
end up
us on
somewhere.
WhatsApp.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. All right, Melissa. Anything else here before we've been talking forever here? I feel like here, so we
No,
kidnapped
this
you.
has been a
Hopefully
blast.
at time.
I
Okay.
love it. I love it. I was so nervous. Thank you, Carrie, for the invitation.
Yeah, of
Thank you
course.
guys
Well, we had a
for
really nice lunch,
obliging,
and
yeah.
I think we had this. I don't know that we ate that much at the lunch because I think we were just like da 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 da, and our guests were just like, yep,
Yeah,
yum.
They're eating their lunch, and Carrie and I just
We're
couldn't
just
stop
da, 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 da.
talking.
Yeah.
So, no, it's been fun. I've really enjoyed this.
Good.
Great way to start the week. I love what you guys are doing.
Well, we'll have you back here then too.
Yeah.
You did great. You did a fantastic job
Thank
here.
you.
So, all right. Well, I guess we'll leave it there. That's episode 63, and it'll be December 1st when this comes out. Then, so we're
Yeah.
almost at Christmas. So
Have to get
yeah,
in the holiday
Brian
spirit.
already gave you all the advice on having a good holiday. So we'll check back then. I don't even know what we're talking about next, but you guys got any
I
topics
don't know, we
yet
feel like
brewing?
we should put like a Christmas tree back here in the corner or
We'll
something.
grab one of those ones Michael put up
Can
front
we
here,
do
right
that?
back here then. So, all right, we'll leave it there. Like, share, subscribe, give us your questions, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much.